for episode 2, Home to Roost. Alright, episode 3, Killer Smart. Nobody's child. Ooh, did child get killed? Dear witness. Side effects. And the last episode, resolution. Ooh, this looks like a good one. Okay, alright. Home to Roost.
In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups. The police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.
Coming, sweetie. Shh. Mommy's here, Noah.
Oh, damn.
Neil?
Like how one knock,
That
she's
you?
like, Neil? Is that you? That was like such a delayed shock. If I just looked down and I saw that body, I would have been like, oh, snap. She was just like,
did you see anything when you opened the door? Anybody on the street?
wait, where's Mariska?
No, nothing at all.
I don't want
At first I thought it
Briscoe.
was some kind of prank, but then I looked down and saw Neil.
Okay.
And I saw
That's all the questions for now.
Neil. Not even crying.
Some prank.
Yeah, well, sounds like he was a real cut-up.
I love how you can't skip the opening. Like, they want you to watch this. Oh no, it looks like it's just gonna be regular Law and Order. Like, I don't want that. I want Mariska.
What's that, goulash? Get it out of here, Ray, for God's sake.
What's the matter? Doesn't smell too bad to me.
No, it smells too good. Julia's got me on a health food diet. She's got this crazy idea high blood pressure is a bad thing.
Sounds like a real nut. I give it 3 weeks.
The diet or Julia?
Both.
Rogers just dropped off the report on Neil Jensen. Exsanguination.
Poor guy bled to death.
Well, that would explain all the red stuff.
Lieutenant Van Buren can supply valuable information about the case. Ask her about the victim's wounds by selecting that topic button. Yeah.
How many cuts we talking about?
Over a dozen, but most of them are superficial. Victim bled out from a deep laceration to the femoral artery.
Wait. Me not paying attention. I'm not a medical expertise. I don't even know what the femoral artery is, but I guess if, you know, he bled to death, that would cause it. Yeah? Correct. How does it match? It was this one, insanguination. Oh, I get it, because sanguine means like red or blood in Spanish, right? I don't know. I never paid attention. High school Spanish fails. Okay, Lieutenant Van Buren. Wait. You just said that she can help. Why say it again? What was the time of death?
Time of death?
4:17 a.m. Apparently, the guy was still alive when his wife found him, but just barely. Blood trail leads down to the curb, then disappears.
Well, at least he got to die at home. When did he get wounded?
Around 2.
Slow bleeder.
Well, we've all got problems.
Did Jensen die instantly of his wound? Nah, it took him 2 hours to die. How do you know? Briscoe says maybe he was attacked by midget vampires. Boom. Why they have Mariska in here if she's not even here?
What do we know about the weapon? Switchblade, maybe?
Right length, but Roger says it was curved, like a scythe.
Our victim was done in by a midget Grim Reaper.
Anything we can use to ID the perp?
No fingerprints, but it appears some of the blood on Jensen's clothes wasn't his own.
Our victim got in a few good jabs before he went down, huh? What does the lab have to say?
Results aren't back yet. Any minute now.
Ring, ring.
Van Buren. Uh-huh. Really? How do they... Uh-huh.
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 Elliptical and nucleated.
Yeah.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let us know if you find out anything else.
You would have totally
That was the
picked
lab.
that.
Elliptical and nucleated?
The red blood cells? Turns out it's not human. It's bird blood.
What?
What kind of bird?
A dead one, I'm guessing.
Our victim was stabbed with a pelican.
What? How did he die? By a pelican? Did they seriously just say that he was stabbed by a bird? What? What? Okay, let's continue forth. Bum bum. Hey,
Hold off a
what's
minute,
up,
Lenny.
Nyrus?
I got something here.
What?
The Jensen's nanny. She's waiting to catch a bus, but I don't see it coming yet.
Then let's not waste any time.
Mind if we ask you a few questions?
I have a feeling that you know what's going on. You know. What is your relationship
Did you know
with the
Neil
deceased?
Jensen very well?
You mean, were we lovers?
Yeah, that's
that
right.
wasn't where I was going.
I was going
But
with that.
since you brought the subject up,
No, he was my employer, that's all. I liked him, though. We had a lot of good talks. He was interested in stuff, you know? Ideas. He was really interested when he found out I was a Wiccan. He liked to ask questions.
She did it. She did it. I'm calling it now. You can't fool me. She's a witch. It's highly likely that she used a bird in some type of seance, trance, whatever, to kill him. Does this rule her out as a suspect? No? Correct. Why can't you rule her out just yet? Haven't had time to check her alibi. Nannies are always lying about something. Briscoe said that they found a woman's fingerprint on the body, and Curtis believes her. Well, we need to check her alibi. Alright. Let's talk about...
Wiccans, don't they sometimes sacrifice animals? Pigeons? Chickens?
No, we in the Wiccan community revere life in all its forms.
I
God,
don't like
people
her
have such
voice.
ignorant ideas.
Nice going.
Ignorant
Hey, not every
ideas.
hunch pans out.
Okay, maybe... Well, if she didn't sacrifice it, you could still use it, right? But they said dead bird, right?
Where were you
My
Wednesday
theory's
morning at
kind
2
of falling
a.m.?
apart.
In bed. Where else?
Here?
I only work days. I live in Bedford-Stuy. Check with my parents if you don't believe me.
Plausible alibi? Let's see. No, because we haven't confirmed it. What?
How did Mr. and Mrs. Jensen get along? Did they fight?
All married couples fight sometimes, I guess. I don't plan to get married myself.
I used to say that too.
Yeah, I said it a bunch. Never did me any good.
But not everybody fights in front of the nanny.
Press the topic further? Hell yes. Why? The nanny's cute. The nanny's being unhelpful and combative. The widow stated her nanny was acting suspicious. Fighting in front of the nanny could be signs of serious marital tension. Well, let's see we have. She said all mirrors couple fights at times. Boom!
What did Mr. and Mrs. Jensen fight about when they fought?
Ah, the usual. Money. I guess he was better at spending it than making it, and new babies cost a lot. He was pretty pissed when she cut off his allowance.
Allowance? How old was he, 12?
Hey, don't tell her I told you that. I want the nice as it is.
Could there be trouble in the Jensen's marriage? Nah. No trouble at all. Which conclusion is not... I've always hated the not questions in any type of situations. Like, which of these are not true? Which of these could not be possible? Blah, 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 blah. Not. Okay, so which conclusion is not supported by the nanny's words? The tension is... there's tension between her and Miss Jensen. There's tension between Mr. and Mrs. Jensen. The Jensen's fond about the baby. Fond about money. Well, I think it was about the baby because she said that she's on thin ice. So that checks out. That's a yes. They fought, so that's a yes. I don't think they fought about the baby, but she just said that they fought about the money, so it's gotta be the baby. Boom.
Here's my bus. Gotta run.
We got all we need out of her. Come on, let's talk to the widow.
Excellent work. What is this detective rank? Like, does this do anything for me? Or is it kind of... I think it might be like a ranking thing. Like a global ranking thing.
I'm sorry I wasn't much help to you last night.
We quite understand, Mrs. Jensen. You've been through a terrible shock.
Please call me Ellie. And I apologize again in advance. I'm going to have to cut this short when Noah wakes up at 3:55.
You've got him on a schedule?
It's the other way around. Wait and see. You could set your watch by him.
Okay, so let's talk about the nanny.
Your nanny.
Ada Marie Velasquez.
This may be an indelicate question, but your husband never...
Neil liked to flirt, but he wasn't a cheater.
You're sure?
I know what goes on in my house. I'm sure of that. And I installed a nanny cam to make extra sure.
This girl knows what's up. She's very meticulous. Alright.
We heard something about you cutting off your husband's allowance.
No.
Do you believe her? No. Nah. There's no difficulty levels. It's just you're thrown into this. Why not? Van Buren reported that Neil's wallet was completely empty. Jenna Marie stated that Ellie cut it off her husband. Blah, blah, blah. Boom. Good job, detective.
Who told you that? Ada Marie?
We're not at liberty to divulge.
She's alluding to the fact that I took Neil's name off the savings account last week. I didn't enjoy doing it, but...
Yes?
When Neil was in research mode, he spent money. Well, recklessly. He'd get so caught up in his work, prudence would go out the window. I used to put up with it, but new babies are expensive.
Alright, let's talk about,
Was your husband missing anything when you found him? Any valuable personal items?
His wallet?
Was on him. $8 and a MasterCard.
His Rolex.
Did Van Buren ever mention a Rolex found on the body? Ooh, we gotta dig through some stuff. Ooh, we gotta... Oh, man, I don't remember. Did she ever mention a Rolex? No, I don't think so. Dang, this is why I need to stop paying attention to the chat and start paying attention to the game. I'm gonna go with no. Sweet.
No Rolex on the body.
I gave it to him on our 10-year anniversary. It's engraved. He always wore it.
Alright, and let's talk about Neil's
Anything
history.
you can tell me about your husband's background?
He had a poker problem in college when I first knew him. Junior year, I had to cover his student fees because he'd gambled away the money his parents gave him. Of course, that was 15 years ago, but I worried maybe he was falling back into old habits.
Foo foo foo.
Your husband was a writer.
Oh, maybe I've read some of his work.
I doubt it. I didn't
Ooh.
mean that the way it sounds.
Shut down.
You don't by any chance subscribe to the Metamodernist Quarterly.
So your husband wasn't about to become the next John Grisham.
Wasn't that difficult for you? I mean, him not bringing in a regular income?
We got by. I believed in my husband's work, detective, and thankfully my income was sufficient to support both of us comfortably. I'm principal at PS 84.
What is that? PS 84.
Do you know where your husband went last night?
I have no idea. He left the house around 9, said he'd be back late, and I shouldn't worry.
But you did.
Of course, but no more than usual. This was par for the course for Neil. When he's working on a new story, he'll go off on research expeditions. Often at strange hours, sometimes for days at a time, and he never talks about it till he has a rough draft on paper. Doesn't want anyone to influence his thought process.
Does this contradict the time of death? No? Because he was out late. How do you know? He did that at 4 a.m. Boom!
Any idea what Mr. Jensen wasted your money on?
God knows. Like I said, he was very closed-mouthed about his research expeditions.
Do you believe her? Yes. Shoot!
What's that noise?
Our chickens, Henny, Penny, and Maxine.
Chickens?
You've never seen chickens in New York?
Well, sure, but they usually come with biscuits and a side of mashed potatoes.
You're behind the times, officers. Urban farming is the wave of the future. Fosters a connection to the earth. Plus, once you've tasted homegrown eggs, those watery factory-produced things just make you gag.
New topics have been revealed. Wait, was it that obvious that I missed it?
One of the things we're trying to make sense of here, Ellie, is we
Or
found
did I miss her
avian
eyes
blood on your
averting?
husband's clothes.
I really wasn't paying
Avian?
attention to her. I was
Bird
paying
blood.
attention to the
I know
chat.
what the word means. It's just very odd.
That's what we thought.
Maybe your husband slaughtered a chicken for dinner last night?
I don't think so. He doesn't take much of an interest in them, to be honest. They're more my thing. He only helps out when it's something I can't bring myself to do.
And what is that thing that you can't bring yourself to do?
About those chickens of yours, what do you mean when you say Neil would do the things you couldn't bring yourself to do?
Well, Raccoon's got one once, and he cleaned up the mess, but that was ages ago. And I made him get rid of Roger last July.
Roger?
A cockerel. He started out as Rebecca. See, keeping hens is perfectly legal in New York City, but it's against the law to keep a rooster.
Makes sense to me.
We raised our brood from chicks. And of course, all chicks look alike. They're sexed before they're sold, but the process isn't foolproof. We bought 4 hens.
And one of them turned out to be a rooster.
Right. By the time we found out she was a he, I had grown fond of him. I didn't have the heart to get rid of him myself, so I made Neil do it. But like I said, that was practically a year ago.
Do you know what he did with it?
He took it back to the farm we got it from, in New Jersey. Cora's Cluckers. I can give you their number.
No,
They know us there.
Didn't. No, you didn't.
There goes the alarm.
I saw those eyes.
3:55.
What'd I tell you?
them look
Right on
down. I don't believe them. they brought it back to the farm. She thought, well, he brought it back to the farm. Like, now that I'm paying attention, I'm seeing it. Is this game for real? You should have seen it earlier, Nyrus. You missed it. Like, our...
Writing in your diary?
It's not a diary. It's a journal.
What kind of journal?
None of your business. Did you call Cora's Cluckers?
Yeah, she remembers Neil
what do you
Jensen.
call them? The
Said he never
defendant?
brought her any roosters.
Yeah, the defendant
sure?
got shot.
Sounds sure.
And he
Matter of
turned
fact,
from
she
a
was away
murder-
at the state fair on the day Jensen supposedly brought the bird in.
So he lied to the little woman, huh? Our victim had a questionable character.
Imagine you're a
who
husband,
murdered
and not the most
murderer.
responsible husband in the world.
That's quite an imaginative leap.
Your wife gives you a live rooster and tells you to take it by public transportation all the way to New Jersey to get rid of it. What do?
You sure as hell don't take it all the way to Jersey. I dump it in the closest spot I can find and go catch a ball game.
Right. And there's only so many places you can take a live chicken if you're too squeamish to kill it. Huang's Live Poultry, 152 Barry, just 6 blocks from the Jensen house.
Yeah, let's check them out.
Let's check them out. Bum bum.
Farm animals in the middle of Brooklyn. I've lived in this city my whole life, and it never ceases to surprise me.
Well, we serve everyone here. We've got kosher slaughter for our Jewish clients, halal for the Muslims.
And if I'm in the mood for pork chops?
For that, we've got a Dominican butcher.
He covers all bases.
Mind if we ask you a few questions?
Okay, but be quick. The dinner rush is going to start any minute.
All right, let's talk about your employees.
How many employees you got?
6, 3 in front, 3 in back.
You look into their backgrounds before you hire them?
They're all citizens, detective.
You sure about that?
Listen, I serve immigrant customers, so I hire immigrant workers. Good workers. Just because a guy wasn't born in this country, does that make him a murder suspect? That sounds like racial profiling to me.
That sounds like you're getting defensive over a simple question. Yeah. Wait, did he mention a murder suspect? Yeah, we haven't even talked about what we were talking about. Like, we just, start off with farm animals in the middle of Brooklyn. Like, we never talked about why we were here. Oh, we never said anything about murder.
I don't believe I said this was a murder investigation.
Well, what else would it be?
Could be a robber incident. It could
You
be
slaughter your
something.
animals here on the premises?
Sure, naturally. Look, my client wants to come in, select an animal, and take home the meat the same afternoon.
Does your client generally want to watch the slaughter?
No, that's against policy. Our abattoir's a separate space in back.
Past the plastic curtain.
Correct.
Is it important to look in the abattoir? Maybe? Why is it important? If Wong doesn't want to see what's back there, it might be worth seeing. It's likely a place for a knife fight. Like, you know what goes down in these New York slaughterhouses, man. It's just a front for knife fights in the abattoir. Everybody knows that. And it's also a fun place to spend Saturday afternoons after Friday night knife fights. And this seems like the likely thing, or this one too. To get a sample of avian blood. Which one? Let's go with this one. Yeah. Okay.
This guy ever come in here?
No.
Look again.
Oh, he looked
Mr.
away.
Huang, I thought you said you serve everyone here. How can you be so sure you haven't served him?
No.
What I mean is, everybody but wasps. His type usually like their meat wrapped in plastic.
Let's talk about your business
They actually
license.
gave you a license to run a slaughterhouse in the city. It's not against code?
Of course I've got a license. I've been running this establishment for over 25 years, buddy. Check with the city if you don't believe me.
My partner doesn't know much about slaughter, except the human-on-human variety.
You found a red herring. Okay.
We'd like to take a look inside your abattoir if you don't mind.
Out of the question.
We're investigating a serious crime, Mr. Huang.
And I'm running a business. I can't let you back there. It would violate health regulations.
We won't tell the inspector. Honest.
The answer is no. Not without a warrant.
Okay. Alright. No, we can't enter without a warrant, right? Why not? It's important for police to foster good relations with local business, and unless you get a warrant first, any evidence you find there would be admissible in court. Yes, it may be dangerous to enter the abattoir unannounced. If we search but fail to find anything, it would hurt the case. It will hurt the case if we go in there without our warrant. Boom!
Hey, Mr. Wang.
One moment, please.
Hey, man. What are the cops doing in here? Get out of here. We gotta get out of here.
What are the cops doing here?
Go on, get out. I'll take care of it.
Check out the Rolex.
Sorry for the interruption. One of my butchers has a problem at home.
Mr. Huang, could I ask you where you got that watch?
This? It's just a knockoff. I got it from a guy on 5th Avenue.
Mind if I take a closer look?
Now look here. Enough with the suspicious questions. I'm an American citizen and I got my rights.
Sounds like a no.
This butcher shop is highly suspicious.
This guy's hiding something.
And you're basing that on...
He's wearing a Rolex. The victim's wife told us he was missing a Rolex, one he never took off.
So wearing a Rolex is now illegal.
He refused to let us check out the back room in his meat market.
Jensen had avian blood on him. That room's the best spot in the neighborhood to find dead birds. There's something back there he doesn't want us to see.
Spare me. As it stands right now, there isn't enough evidence to suggest probable cause. Give me reason to believe that there was something worse than slaughter going on in that room, or you don't get a warrant. And no arrests unless you've got something physical to tie this guy to the victim.
Dang.
Nina Haversham, 32, junior partner at McCormick and Preston. Wait a minute. Nina Haversham? She was one of the suspects in the preppy jogger case.
So?
Van Buren took us off that one.
Yeah, but remember that little speech he gave back in February? All detectives are encouraged to ask about crimes they're not currently investigating. It's all about spreading the widest possible net. Well, the case may be closed for now, but the net's still open.
Hey, well, happy fishing, partner.
Hey, you know that meat market sells cow skulls?
Now, I know that definitely isn't on your diet. Look what it says in the logs. 3 weeks ago Tuesday, we got a late-night complaint about noise coming from the meat market.
How late at night?
1:45 a.m. Then, 2 weeks ago, also on Tuesday, the same noise complaint.
Let me guess. Same thing happened last Tuesday.
About 15 minutes before Neil Jensen was wounded. What do you think?
I think we've got our warrant.
I don't know how we got a warrant, but we got it. Where's
All right,
Mariska?
then.
You missed her.
But at least let me watch.
But
I'm
I
sorry,
think she'll
it's
appear in the
against
next
policy.
episode. Maybe.
Okay, well, we found our bird blood. I'm still not sure what else we're looking for.
Anything that'll tell us what was going on after hours Tuesday
boy.
night.
I
and
love
whether
this
Neil Jensen
part of
was
the
in on it.
game. Making a circle around the evidence. Okay, yeah, remember, circle the objects and grab them. Okay, so we're looking for possible murder weapon, evidence of gambling debts, source of avian blood, a curved knife, bloody blanket. Okay. What's this book over here about? No. Okay. Well, found a cleaver.
Think this could be our murder weapon?
I don't think so.
Wait, that's bloody. That's bloody.
That's a hell of a lot of blood.
could have come from a pig or something, I guess, but why would you wrap a pig in a blanket? I mean, a real pig in a real blanket.
Let's take it back to forensics.
That pig in the blanket. Oh my god, I almost died. This is bloody too. What? Okay. Let me just move away from that. Okay. Oh, that's a curved knife and it's bloody.
Van Buren said it was a short, curved blade.
Okay, ooh, what's this box? Ho ho ho!
Hey, look at this.
A short, curved blade.
What do you want to bet it's a match for the murder weapon? Wonder what it is.
Doesn't seem like anything a butcher would use.
No, I was going for the glaives. I was combined gloves and blades. I was looking at the gloves, but alright, what else are we looking for? That saw's on our list.
This could do a guy in.
Sure, but not our guy.
And we're looking for an open book. And something else. Okay. It's gonna be something in this area. Something over here. Over here. Over here.
Now we're cooking.
What's that?
A ledger. And I got a feeling these ain't sales of ground round in here. They look like bets.
Looks like NJ owes a bundle to EH.
EH. Edward Wang.
Edward Wang. Dude, I think I know what he would have done with that rooster. I'm thinking rooster fights. That's what's going on here. That's why he's spending. Okay, what else am I looking for? Shoot, I got one more. One more to find. Source of avian blood. Okay. I get that, but where? Where is it? Game. Oh, what's over here? Nothing. Okay. Oh, should I? I'll circle it. Okay. -1. I don't know where they want me to search. I don't know. Nope. It's gotta be over here. Somewhere over here. No. The tape. I don't know if the tape will do anything. No. Alright, down to -6. This is not gonna. This isn't gonna help our reputation. You would think these cages might mean something, but I already circled over them. Or you would think this blood might mean something. What?
You want to search the garbage?
What?
Hey, nothing I like better than digging through a mound of
That's
chicken
not
heads
what
and
I
feathers.
wanted. I didn't want to search the garbage, but okay, I didn't know that you can do that. Oh, look, it's a rooster.
Huh.
What'd you find?
It's the carcass of a whole rooster. It's a big one, too. Why do you suppose they just throw it away?
Maybe it died of diphtheria.
Nah, it's all cut up.
Wow.
Wait,
a
let me see
dead
that blade
bird
again.
Cut up in a butchery? Whew.
I know what this is. It's a gaff. They attach these to the claws of... Hey, Mr. Huang! I think you've got some explaining to do.
You've
Can I
got some
wait? I got a lot of
explaining
customers
to
right
do,
now.
Mr.
We can talk
Huang.
out there if you'd rather. I'm sure they'll be interested to hear about how you're running a cockfighting ring.
Cockfighting, of course. Is that kosher? What do you think, Ray? We got enough
Oh,
to
he's
arrest this
panicking.
guy?
He's
yeah,
panicking.
I say we cuff him for the murder of Neil Jensen.
Murder? Now, wait a minute, detectives. Hold everything.
Sure, it all hangs
He probably
together.
has the Rolex
Jensen owed a
'cause he,
gambling debt to
you
Mr.
know,
Huang
pawned it off
here,
to him
and
'cause
when
of his
Jensen can't
debts.
pay up, Huang starts eyeing his Rolex. Neil, thanks for 10 wonderful years. Ellie,
You gotta believe me. I didn't kill him.
then who did?
Ricardo Guzman, I think.
Where can we find him?
He doesn't have a fixed address. Moves around from couch to couch.
Take this guy in.
Wait, I got his cell number.
What luck. I'm glad you know how to follow instructions, Mr. Huang, because we've got a little job for you.
23 guesses. Try again for a better score. Or how about, you know, you have a better system.
Okay, Huang, you remember what we told you, and this ought to go down quick and painless.
He's gonna kill me, you know, when he finds out I'm working with the police.
By that time, he'll be in custody. That is, as long as you play it cool and take your cues from us.
Yeah?
Ricardo, it's Huang.
Hey, what's the matter, man? You sound funny.
You sound funny. I'm sure Death would want me to. Everything is peachy.
Cops had me worked up, but they're gone.
The cops, they worked me over pretty hard.
But you didn't say nothing.
You
No,
didn't say
I held
nothing.
firm. They're gone now.
They find anything?
Be overconfident or be casual? I would say be overconfident.
No, those clowns couldn't find a hot dog in a wiener cart.
You sound pretty sure of yourself.
Should have went with
So what am I
casual.
supposed to do, man? We got another fight coming Tuesday. You know I can't cancel it. I'm on the hook to Menendez. $5,000, man, and I'm broke.
Be nervous.
Forget it.
Forget it. Too dangerous.
Menendez ain't gonna forget.
Shoot.
He's the least of your worries right now. Just lay low.
Oh my god, we missed that one too. One
Now
more
tell
strike
him
and
you'll
we're out.
meet him later.
Let's meet up later once everything's squared away.
Where?
Is it just a neutral location? Yeah, I got one.
Somewhere by Pulaski Bridge, 6 p.m.
That street corner. Over by the bodega and the pharmacy. On 21st by Pulaski Bridge. Around 6?
See, sounds like a plan. See you there.
You done good, Mr. Huang.
We'll take it from here.
Wang, over here.
Sorry, Huang is indisposed at the moment. Ricardo Guzman, you are under arrest for the murder of Neil Jensen. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
He's like, oh no. Oh no, I'm being under
Mr. Guzman
arrest.
doesn't dispute the cockfighting charges. We're prepared to plead guilty on that one.
Está insultando la República Dominicana.
Let me. My client is not a murderer, Mr. McCoy. Mr. Jensen died as a result of an accident.
And
accident. He attempted to handle an armed bird, and he lost control of it.
Really?
That could make sense.
Unbelievable. A man gets carved up like a side of beef. Guzman lets him slowly bleed to death, then dumps him on a doorstep and expects to walk away.
I checked with the Dominican consulate.
And?
He's wanted there for drug running and armed robbery.
Well, I want him here for murder.
Is it possible it really was an accident?
Does it matter? Neil Jensen didn't have to die. Guzman had 2 hours to get help, and
Yeah,
he
that is
callously
true.
stood by.
Even if it was
Murder
an
too.
accident.
Depraved indifference.
There was just 2 hours of him bleeding. Oh, it's Thanksgiving for you? That's weird, because Thanksgiving for us is until November. The defense must be desperate. They're putting Guzman on the stand. Harlan Fitzpatrick is a good defense lawyer. He will try to make Guzman appear sympathetic using a number of rhetorical tricks. Your job is to object when he gets out of line. Leading is when the defense attorney puts words in the defendant's mouth to help make his case. You can often tell a leading statement because it ends with a question like, "Am I right?" or "Don't you mean?" Asked and answered is when the lawyer gets his client to repeat an answer for dramatic effect. Listen closely for repetition of things you've heard before. Okay, I gotta
Mr.
be
Guzman,
strong on
when
this
did you
piece.
first meet Neil Jensen?
Maybe a year ago, I guess.
Who initiated the relationship? You or him?
He did. I didn't want to have no part of him, man. Not at first. What I do, I gotta be careful who I let in. Can bring trouble, you know? Especially a white guy.
Mr. Jensen came to you with an offer, is that right?
Yeah, he had a bird and
objection
he
on
wanted
your
me to help him
face.
raise it and fight it.
And at first you said no?
That's right.
Yes. Wait. What was the other one called? Wait, I need you to tell me what. Okay, here we go. It was leading. Where is leading? Damn it. Okay. I guess this, right? I don't know. To be honest, I really don't know. There's no leading. He was leading him. It's not that. There's no repetition. Assuming facts not in evidence. I'm gonna go with speculation.
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
That was like
I don't see how that objection applies here. Overruled.
What convinced you to take Neil
Ron.
Jensen
Right, and
under
we
your
lost
wing,
points,
as it
too.
were, in spite of your suspicions?
He knew cockfighting ain't how they make it out to be, you know?
It's a more civilized practice than people realize, you mean.
Oh, here we go. Objection time. Leading.
Objection, leading.
Sustained. Strike that.
What sort of sentiments did Mr. Jensen express to you?
Well, like, cocking's a real sport. It takes dedication and discipline. And you know, it can teach you a lot about life if you let it.
So you agreed to keep the bird and help him raise it?
See, together we raised El Jefe, and together we conditioned him to fight. He was a good bird.
Here's another trick. Speculation is when when a witness is allowed to theorize or imagine a scenario and presented as evidence. Defense may encourage this to make Neil Jensen look bad.
Why don't you tell us, in your own words, what happened on the night of Tuesday, May 5th?
Well, Neil come in that night really keyed up, man, like super keyed up. He was jumping all around. I think maybe he was on something.
Yes. Speculation.
Objection! Speculation.
Okay, now we're back to neutral.
Strike that from the record. Watch yourself, Mr. Guzman. Please confine your description to actual events.
Go on.
Well, he was excited, you know, because El Jefe was finally gonna fight. There were some other birds up first, but he couldn't sit and watch, man, pacing around, till his turn finally came. Okay, I tell him, I'm the handler. I'm experienced at this stuff. Let me do it.
Get the bird into the ring.
The pit, yeah. It could be dangerous, you know, especially with the long heel.
A long blade attached to the rooster's spur.
Right, but Neil wouldn't hear nothing I was saying, man. Being he was a rider, he had to do everything himself. Well, anyway, he's yelling about how he had to be the one to handle El Jefe. I told him don't. I ordered him even, but he really got in my face about it, man, so I had to back down. Then he went for the rooster, like he was going for a football or something. Grabbed it around the neck. You understand, this is a bird was being conditioned to fight. The bird goes crazy.
It attacked Neil Jensen. Naturally, you were horrified.
Yes. Leading.
Objection. Leading.
Sustained.
How did you feel?
Horrified, naturally.
As we approach the part of the testimony where Guzman will describe Neil's wounds, be on the lookout for statements that require medical training to back up. Okay?
I made a grab for the bird and got it.
Putting yourself in considerable danger in the process, I imagine.
Would that be an objection? Leading?
Objection. Leading. Counsel is putting words in the witness's mouth.
Withdrawn.
But by the time I got the rooster under control, the damage was done.
I see.
The damage
So what
was
then?
done?
What did you do for him?
I wrap a blanket around him to try stop the bleeding, you know.
Did you think to take him to the hospital?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do, but he told me not to. He wanted me to take him home.
Mr. Jensen asked you to take him home.
Mm-hmm. His wounds, I mean, he was cut up pretty bad, but not so bad as all that. He should have pulled through, no problem.
No problem. Like, how would you know? You have no expert
Objection.
knowledge
No
if he should
expert
have pulled through
knowledge.
or not.
Considering the outcome, I think we can conclude that Mr. Guzman's assessment of the situation is off.
Sustained. Facts only, Mr. Guzman.
You swore on the Bible you'd tell the truth, Mr. Guzman.
I'm telling the truth. I panicked maybe. You would have done the same. But I did what Neil asked me to do. What I thought would save his life.
And what is that?
Your witness, Mr. McCoy.
Yeah, save his life by
Mr.
letting him
Guzman.
bleed out for 2 hours. Alright, the prosecution is ready to cross-examine Guzman. Focus on inconsistencies in the evidence and his callous disregard for Jensen. Stay away from tricky issues like his past life or the cultural bias against cockfighting. Okay, so let's talk about the time of
The incident in
incident.
question occurred on the night of May 5th.
That's right. Maybe 1:45.
1:45. And you say you acted to save him?
Of course I acted. I tried to help him right there, and when I couldn't help him, I took him home, like he asked me to.
Yes, because he died at 4. What? 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 He died at 4 a.m. He didn't get home until 4 a.m. Like, you're telling me that he took him home and he crawled for 2 hours? There is time missing. What is that about?
You knew it was dangerous for Neil Jensen to handle his own rooster.
Sure it was dangerous. When those birds are ready to fight, man, they're ready to fight.
Then why didn't you stop him?
I tried, man, but like I said, he wouldn't take no for an answer.
What did he say? All right. Blah, blah, blah. He wouldn't hear nothing. I told him don't even order him, but he got in my face about it, so I had to back down. Then he went for the rooster. And then what did he just say? I tried, but like I said, he wouldn't take no for an answer. No. What's the problem? What? Neil testified. What? You gotta be quicker than that. Oh. Well, he could have been off on the time, maybe. I don't know. But what I would like to know is what happened during that time of, you know, the 145. But from the time that he got injured, from the time that he died, there's a huge gap that we don't know what happened, you know? Okay, let's talk about the relationship.
Mr. Guzman, you took Mr. Jensen into your confidence, initiated him into your illegal activities. Knowing your new disciple was a writer, didn't you worry that he'd give the game away, expose your ring, and force you to shut down operations?
Well, sure I was worried, but he promised me he'd keep quiet. And he wouldn't write anything neither, unless I okayed it first.
And you trusted him?
Yeah, he respected me, man.
Did Jensen disobey Guzman at any point? Yes. How did he show lack of respect? Jensen tried to take control. Boom.
Well, it doesn't seem like he respected you very much on the night he died. I mean, he defied you. He disobeyed your orders to stay away from the rooster.
Yeah, I guess that's right.
She's like, yeah.
Let's
that's
get
right
back
too.
to those final moments, shall we? Maybe this time we can get the facts straight. You drove Neil Jensen home.
Like he asked me to.
And you dropped him off at the door. What time was that? 4 o'clock?
More like 2.
Did you stay with him till he was safely inside?
No.
No. You dumped him there and took off. Why, Mr. Guzman?
I heard a baby crying as I was coming up the walk with Neil, and I saw a light turn on, so I knew she was up. I was sure she was gonna come down and get Neil.
Yes?
But I didn't want to have to be there and explain it all to her, you know?
No, I expect you didn't. No further questions.
Ooh. The jury's on the fence. We gotta do better. This case isn't as easy to, you know, prove or disprove like last one. This one's a little bit tricky, and it doesn't help that I keep making mistakes that I think are, you know, right, but in reality they're wrong. Now it's time to put Ellie on the stand and let her talk about her husband Neil and the horrible events of May 5th. No reason to ask tough questions, just have her recount her experience, generate some sympathy, but try to avoid any mentions of Neil's shady nightlife or speculation about his death.
Want to take this one, Abby?
The people call Ellie Jensen to the witness stand.
She almost got shot. Okay, so let's talk about the night of the murder.
Mrs. Jensen, tell us how you discovered your husband on the night in question. Well, I heard a sort of a thunk coming from outside the front door. Did it wake you up? No. No, it wasn't loud enough for that, but luckily I was awake. Noah, my baby, had just waked me for his usual feeding. That at least conforms to Mr. Guzman's testimony. What condition was your husband in when you found him? It was horrible. He was covered in blood, and he had this look in his eyes like he knew he was dying. I kept saying, "Who did this to you? Who did this to you?" But all he could do was move his mouth. I think he was saying, "I'm sorry." And there was nobody with him? Nobody. He was all alone. Now this is crucial. Mrs. Jensen, what time did you discover your husband? Just before 4 a.m. You're absolutely sure? Yes. I glanced at the clock when my baby cried at 5 minutes too. He always wakes up at the same time. Thank you, Mrs. Jensen.
So you finally come around, eh, Harlan?
If that's the way you want to look at it, Jack.
Great. What are you looking for?
No jail time. Mr. Guzman pays a fine and does 12 months probation.
Jail time.
Come on, he killed a man.
Actually, a rooster killed a man.
He sat idly by for 2 hours and let an innocent man bleed to death.
Justice in our favor. Probation? No way. Make your counteroffer. The charge of murder applies if you feel Guzman acted in a premeditated and calculating fashion when he let Jensen bleed to death. That's kind of true. The charge of manslaughter applies if you feel Guzman acted recklessly and therefore caused Jensen to die. But didn't. I think manslaughter. We can get manslaughter 1. We cannot get murder 2 unless these scales were up the bar.
Man 1, he served 7 to 15 years plus a $2,500 fine for cockfighting. How about it, Mr. Guzman?
2 to 5 years in prison, court probation, and admittance to a program for gambling addiction.
Gambling addiction? That's hardly the worst of Mr. Guzman's habits.
Do you accept? No.
So he can go right back to running cockfights? No deal, Mr. Fitzpatrick.
Ricardo Guzman will never win any good citizenship awards. He's a devotee of cockfighting, a sport which many, no doubt, many of you here in the jury consider barbaric and inhumane. But it's important to appreciate that the defendant is the product of another culture. We mustn't let cultural differences blind us to his essential humanity. Consider Mr. Guzman's relationship with the deceased. He agreed to act as Mr. Jensen's mentor, not for money, but through mutual love of the sport. For many months, he patiently worked with him and trained with him. He became Mr. Jensen's mentor and his friend. And when the accident occurred, Mr. Guzman reacted as a friend would react.
Any friend would just
concern.
Drop off
Perhaps
a
he
bleeding
made
friend
the
at
wrong
their house
decision in
and
taking the injured
just
man
leave him
home.
there.
Perhaps you
Good
or I
friend.
would have gone straight to the hospital. But remember, Mr. Guzman is an immigrant, an outsider, with an outsider's suspicion of big institutions. My client has lost a friend, perhaps as the result of his own mistake.
Who
And for
cares?
that,
probably
he will
isn't
suffer for the
suffering.
rest of his life. But does he deserve to go to jail?
Yeah.
Good people of the jury, I beg you, let's not compound one error with another.
Let's compile one error with another. All right, McCoy, lay down the fancy speaking. No, don't give it to me. All right, sway the jury with facts and stay away from topics that might inflame cultural sensitivities. Okay, the topics. The 2-hour gap.
2 hours. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. 2 hours. 2 hours between the time Neil Jensen was stabbed repeatedly, and the time the accused saw fit to do something about it. 2 hours of agony, of Mr. Jensen bleeding, losing strength,
We got her.
crying
She's
for
on our
help,
side.
for mercy. But there was
She's the leader
no
of the pack.
mercy. Not from Ricardo Guzman.
And Guzman's motive.
The accused knew Neil Jensen well enough to understand the limits of their trust. If the victim had survived the attack, there would have been questions. The story would have come out. Guzman's illegal operation would have been exposed. He would have faced prosecution, or loss of livelihood at the very least. He had a lot to lose and a lot to gain by doing nothing. The legal community has a phrase for this behavior: depraved indifference. None of us was in the slaughterhouse with Ricardo Guzman and Neil Jensen. None of us knows exactly what was going on through the mind of the accused as he watched his cohort writhe on the floor. We may never know exactly why he stood and waited and waited. But we aren't being asked to judge Mr. Guzman's motivations. We're being asked to judge his acts, or in this case, his failure to act. And in this case, I think you'll agree, inaction speaks louder than words.
Has the jury come to a verdict?
Come on.
We have, Your Honor.
In the charge of murder in the second degree, how do you find?
We find the defendant, Ricardo Guzman, guilty.
Ooh, murder second degree! You should have took manslaughter
Thank you, Mr. McCoy. He got what he deserved.
Not much comfort to you, I'm sure.
It won't bring Neil back, but it gives me some closure. Will you be okay? I think he'll see to it. Right on schedule as always.
Know anyone who needs a nanny?
Mrs. Jensen let you go, huh?
Nah, figures. I'm just one more thing that reminds her of Neil. And God knows she got rid of all his other stuff. His photo albums, his collections of rare books.
Well, different people grieve in different ways.
Yeah, I think she'll be doing her grieving in Aruba. She bought tickets yesterday.
You don't suppose...
Wait.
You've got a suspicious mind, Curtis. Up for a little field trip tonight?
Did the wife purposely leave her husband there to die for 2 hours?
Five minutes to 2.
Right on schedule.
You think that means...
She couldn't bring herself to get rid of the rooster in the chicken coop, but the rooster in the house is a different story.
Bum bum.
I'm not sure I understand.
She went up on the witness stand and told the court that she found her husband at 4 a.m.
But she told us that her baby wakes up at the same times every day, and we heard the baby wake up at 2.
So, isn't it possible that the baby could have also woken her up at 4 a.m.? We're talking about a baby here.
You don't have any proof that Ellie Jensen is lying.
Which is why we need a warrant to search her brownstone.
And just what are you hoping to find?
Mrs. Jensen mentioned that she installed a nanny cam in her nursery. Those things have timestamps on them.
She might be lying or not, but the nanny cam always tells the truth.
Fine, I'll give you a warrant to confiscate the nanny cam, but only that.
What a twist.
Neil? That you? Oh!
2 a.m., Mrs. Jensen.
2 a.m.
Care to tell us why you waited so long to call 911?
I wasn't thinking straight.
Clearly.
We got you.
Just so
We got
mad.
you.
He promised me he was going to stop running around like a damn teenager, wasting our money and risking his stupid neck, all for the sake of his stories. He was going to calm down and be normal, a decent husband and father. He swore. I didn't want him to die. I just wanted to teach him a lesson.
I think he learned.
Jury just came back in the Jensen case.
And?
Guilty. Man 2, 10 to 20.
Looks like PS 84 is going to have to find themselves a new principal.
Good work, gentlemen.
How about we grab lunch? You still on that diet?
Nope. Ditched the health food. And, Julia.
Right on schedule.
And I feel great.
Any preferences?
Nope, I'm up for anything. Except chicken. For some reason that doesn't appeal to me today.